Adam here from Northwest Slackline, and welcome to part 3 of our longline series. This segment is going to cover webbing. So to be honest, this is my second attempt at doing a segment on webbing, and the first attempt went way too long, like into the 20-minute range. And ultimately what I decided was that there's just way too much to talk about when it comes to webbing to cover it all in one segment. So the goal of the segment is really going to be at the high notes of what you need to know to begin longlining as far as webbing is concerned. And then I'll do a bunch of individual reviews for the webbings that I own, and that way, as time goes on, I can add more reviews to the site as I buy more webbings, or more webbings get sent to me, or I get to test them, or I learn new things about them. The reviews will cover a whole bunch of in-depth aspects of webbing, from how much it stretches, to what it breaks at, to what it costs, to how much it weighs, how much it rebounds when you bounce on it, how durable it is. I think that's a sort of overlooked part of webbing. And all I really want to cover that I think you need to know to begin with are sort of two main factors for what it feels like to longline on webbing. So the first is how much it stretches, because you're going to need to deal with that stretch in order to get it taut. For instance, the webbing next to me is barely stretched at all. So the more the webbing stretches, the more this is an issue for rigging when it comes to longlining, which is what we'll cover in the next video, because you're going to need to take that stretch out of it. So if you have a 100-meter line and it stretches 20%, you're going to need to take 20 meters of gap out of that. So ultimately what that means, if let's say you were using a 5-to-1 pulley system, we'll get into that in the next segment, that means you're going to need 4 times that amount of rope. So you're going to need 80 meters of rope. So that's a big deal. If it stretches more, it means you need more rope, and you need to actually stretch it more, and it becomes very laborious as well as needing a very long rope. So having low stretch has become the sort of ideal that everyone is seeking, just because your setup is much more portable and it's easier to get up and you get more time to walk it. That being said, I think webbings that stretch more are actually quite fun. So don't shy away from stretchy webbings. Ultimately, you need to try both and sort of decide what works for you. I think that if you're in the US at least, where nylon webbing is plentiful and easy to get, you should probably just start longlining on tubular nylon. It's cheap, it's easy to get, it's quite stretchy, it's lightweight, and it'll give you a sort of baseline of what it takes to longline. And then as you get beyond the sort of 100 or 200 foot mark, you can decide if you want to stick with tubular nylon, if you want to stay with nylon in general and go to, say, type 18, something that's a little stronger, or if you want to move over to a polyester webbing, and Mantra, or maybe something from Europe. So the only other thing that I really think we need to talk about for webbing is the weight. That's really the other aspect that's going to make it difficult to begin longlining, is you're going to have to actually control the weight of the entire line. And when the line is 30 or 40 feet long, you don't even notice that. But when the line is 300 feet long, you may notice it. So that's one other reason that I think tubular nylon is particularly nice to start with, is because it weighs 40 grams per meter. It's quite light. This doesn't weigh very much at all. Some of the stronger webbings are a lot heavier, and so it's very difficult for beginners to control them when they long. So I know this is a short segment, sorry to rob you of it, but don't worry, there are going to be lots of reviews coming. I hope you'll join me in part 4, where we will have a much longer segment talking about all of the rigging we need to know about in order to get this line taut.